Though cornerbacks always earn the most love in football, there's really nothing like watching an elite wide receiver match up against a shutdown cornerback. We did get to see Deion Sanders versus Jerry Rice and Antonio Brown versus Richard Sherman, but unfortunately there are some dream corner receiver matchups that will never get to happen. I'm Justin Fraction, and here are 10 dream receiver corner matchups we wish we could have seen. And a big shout out to MXDude38 for suggesting this list. We do hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, feel free to click subscribe down below for more cool videos every single day. Number 10, Champ Bailey versus Steve Largent. Bailey was arguably the best shutdown corner of the 2000s, being named to 12 Pro Bowls and 6 first teams. Bailey's career started in 1999 when he played at a high level into his mid-30s, often getting the best of great Tom Brady in his career too. Meanwhile, Largent tore up the 80s despite not having great quarterbacks throwing to him. He led the NFL in receiving yards during the 1979 and 1985 season. He wasn't big at 5'11", 187 pounds, but like Bailey, his burst downfield was a thing of beauty. Would Bailey be the champ or the chump in this matchup? Number 9, Dick LeBeau versus Chris Carter. Yeah, the legendary Pittsburgh Steelers defensive coordinator was among the league's best corners in the 70s. LeBeau spent his entire 14-year career with the Detroit Lions and reached 3 Pro Bowls. He racked up 62 interceptions that went for 762 yards and 3 scores. His eye for the ball was something to behold. But how would he do against Chris Carter? The longtime Viking star led the league in touchdowns 3 times and helped Minnesota break a ton of records in 1998. From 1993 to 2000, he posted at least 1,000 yards each season. But these two played in such different eras, and there's no guessing who would win this one. Number 8, Charles Woodson versus James Lofton. Nobody had a knack for the ball on defense like Woodson. The 9-time Pro Bowler and 2009 Defensive Player of the Year deflected 155 passes, notched 65 interceptions, and had 13 pick sixes. He was a key part of the Green Bay Packers Super Bowl 45 championship too. On the flip side, could the other great Packer, James Lofton, handle Woodson? He had 762 catches for 14,004 yards and 75 touchdowns, while being named to the 80s All-Decade team. But who knows if Lofton would have been too lofty for Woodson? Number 7, Patrick Peterson versus Marvin Harrison. We've seen Peterson handle most elite receivers during his career: Julio Jones, Dez Bryant, Calvin Johnson, and others. But few corners could really give former Indianapolis Colts star Marvin Harrison trouble. The Hall of Famer and Peyton Manning are the greatest quarterback-receiver combo ever. Harrison racked up 8 1,000-yard seasons. His 14,580 yards rank 8th all-time. But Peterson didn't begin his career until 2011, 3 years after Harrison retired. Therefore, it's anyone's guess who'd win this one. Number 6, Lem Barney versus Antonio Brown. Barney played his entire 11-year career with the Detroit Lions, being named to 7 Pro Bowls while racking up an astonishing 56 interceptions for 1,077 yards and 10 touchdowns. Barney was named the Defensive Rookie of the Year in 1967. But Barney never faced a lightning flash of a receiver like Brown. Once AB gets the ball, he's gone. He set a record in 2015 with 4 games of at least 175 yards. Even elite corners like Chris Harris Jr. have been burned by Brown. Number 5, Ronnie Lott versus Terrell Owens. Though Joe Montana and Jerry Rice earned the most love from the San Francisco 49ers dynasty of the 80s, Ronnie Lott was just as vital. The 10-time Pro Bowler racked up 63 career interceptions for 730 yards and 16 touchdowns. He shut down just about every elite receiver of his era. But future and fellow 49er Terrell Owens was simply too much for most defenses. The best receiver of his era is second all-time in receiving yards. With 15,934, he was named to 6 Pro Bowls and led the league in touchdowns 3 times. I wonder if T.O. would ever get to chug popcorn against Ronnie, or if the latter would be a lot for Owens to handle. Number 4, Darrelle Revis versus Andre Reed. No other cornerback in NFL history has had an island named after them. In his first 10 NFL seasons, Revis shut down every elite receiver. Randy Moss had no escape from Revis Island, nor did guys like Indianapolis Colts star Reggie Wayne or Green Bay Packers standout Jordy Nelson. Revis made his case as the best corner ever, but 6'2", 190-pound Hall of Famer Andre Reed would have had the size advantage over the star corner. The 7-time Pro Bowler was a huge part of the Buffalo Bills' success in the 90s, but would he make Revis Island his property, or would he take a permanent vacation on it? Number 3, Richard Sherman versus Randy Moss. It's a good day for a wide receiver if he makes 3 catches with Sherman shadowing him. The self-proclaimed best corner in the game backs up his trash talk by shutting down literally every great receiver thrown his way. But if there's one guy who could solve the ball-hawking star, it'd be Moss. No other receiver had that kind of incredible combination of speed and size. At 6'4", 210 pounds, Moss would have the tools to break Sherman's lockdown, or would he? Sadly, we'll never know for sure. Number 2, Deion Sanders versus Julio Jones. Sanders is the greatest cornerback of all time, won a pair of Super Bowls, was an 8-time first-team All-Pro, 1994 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, and he picked off 53 passes and had 22 total touchdowns. No receiver had an answer for Sanders. Primetime had the quickness, vision, tackling, size, speed, and brains to be 5 steps ahead of you every time. But you know who else has it all? Julio Jones. He's 6'3", 220 pounds, and has incredibly slick hands. He can also make great adjustments and is uncatchable in open space. Sanders could completely shut him down, or Jones could completely expose him. We need a DeLorean to find out which is true. And number 1, Dick Night Train Lane versus Jerry Rice. Some football historians would actually call Night Train Lane the best corner ever. The 7-time Pro Bowler has the record for picks in a season with 14, set in 1952. No defensive player dominated the 50s and 60s like Lane, who finished with 68 career interceptions. But the all-time leader in catches, receiving yards, and touchdown receptions in Jerry Rice would have been Lane's biggest challenge. Rice had 14 1,000-yard seasons, dominating the entire 80s and 90s decades while putting on a show in the early 2000s as well. Since they played in such different eras and are widely considered the best at their respective positions, this was an easy choice for number 1. What other great receiver-corner matchups do you wish you could see? Join us in the comments below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton and we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to Total Pro Sports though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.